Puppy dog, puppy dog, puppy dog. Today, we're going to look at some of the very first Rufferto. And we're going to learn what I, and maybe you, think incorrectly about how Sergio draws him. Hi, I'm Darren, these are my hands, and this is GrooTube, where we appreciate the art of Aragonés. Today, we are going to look at some of the very first appearances of Groo's dog, Rufferto, and we're going to try to forget what we saw earlier. I am going to try to determine what I think are the differences between early Rufferto and what Rufferto evolved into. You see, in my mind, when Rufferto was introduced in Epic Groo number 29, we had quite a different looking doggo than what we eventually got, even just 2 years later in the Epic run, and certainly what we're looking at these days. So, my plan, to flip through the pages of 29, I'm going to point out things that I think are wrong about the way Sergio was drawing Rufferto, and then we're going to look at some newish Groo and determine whether what I think of as wrong Rufferto has been corrected, or whether I'm just thinking of some idealized Rufferto that doesn't really even exist. So let's take a look at the first appearance of Rufferto. So I guess we could say that the first appearance of Rufferto is on the cover of Groo 29. And here is this rather, I don't know, I want to say bullet-shaped dog, barrel-shaped dog, pointy nose, pointy ears, a little bit of fur sticking up on the back of his neck, beady eyes. Is this the doggo that we love as Rufferto? Let's flip inside and see a little bit more. Okay, we got Rufferto hiding in the rubble back here. He almost looks like he's got a funny little overbite thing going on, but it's a little hard to tell for sure. Let's keep going. Where is Rufferto hiding? All right, here we are. There he is, Rufferto, our first real drawing. And when I take a look at him, this is what I notice. These are the things that I notice that I think are wrong. His eye spot is just way too big, and it's also shaggy, or at least roughly drawn. That's not right. His eye spot should be a little bit smaller than this, and it should be solid with a nice, smooth edge. That's weird. And look at, there's also a little bit of hair towards his bum, near his tail, on his back there. That's a little bit wrong. And when I look at the transition between Rufferto's body and his head, this is what I was talking about, like this bullet shape, this barrel-shaped body. Seems like a very thick-necked Rufferto here, and not so much that peanut-shaped nose that I expect to see. Again down here, pointy ears, beady little eyes, and a gigantic, rough spot under his left eye. He's cute, though. Up here, this body shape is looking really good. You know, nice and bulbous towards the back, tapering towards the neck. I like that. It looks like Sergio down here is trying to get that peanut-shaped snout in. The eyes they're not these beady little eyes, but I don't know, they're a little bit funny too. This picture down here is a very sympathetic looking little Rufferto, but look at the size of that spot and the roughness around the edges. And then over here, what is going on with Rufferto's teeth? I don't want to see individual teeth here. It makes it look like there's missing teeth, actually, and that seems wrong. Yeah, it's that funny, droopy, it's almost like the coyote nose from the Roadrunner cartoons. And here again, we've got thick-necked Rufferto, a little bit of hair sticking up. I see his tail is wagging, but it also looks like a little bit of hair sticking up on his back over there. I've always thought that this is a very strange drawing of Rufferto. I do not like the straight-on look. I do not like the slice of line for a mouth. And his snout, very narrow. I don't know where it is. You know, at least it's kind of as wide as his face here. There's no snout going on there. I like the little drawing with the little circle mouth there. That's very nice. And look at all these spots. Of course, Sergio always talks about how he made a mistake in choosing a spotted dog to be Groo's companion. But man alive, look at all of those spots. Too many spots, right? too many spots and too many small spots, I think, right? Sergio changes that, right? Weak nose, pointy ears, eyes too separated maybe? Fangs? Yuck. And while I'm saying things like yuck, it doesn't mean that I don't like Rufferto. It doesn't mean that I don't like the fact that Rufferto is here. I thought that this was great when Rufferto showed up on the scene. I loved Rufferto from the get-go. But when I think of Rufferto now, I don't think of Sergio drawing him in this style. And so when I look back at him, I think, that's wrong. It's not wrong, it's just how he was originally drawn. And it's not bad, it's just different. So that's what I'm pointing out today, at least from my mind's eye. Look, there's those teeth again. Individual teeth and fangs. This is kind of cute. He looks wrong to me. His muzzle is too short, but he does look cute. Lovely pantomime happening down here. Oh, the teeth! I don't like those teeth. And again, pointy ears, long tapered snout. The teeth. I didn't realize those teeth were so prominent in this first comic with Rufferto. So, what am I thinking of that is wrong about Rufferto from this first appearance of him? I guess I'm saying those teeth, spots, thick-necked body. Spot is too big and too rough. Maybe the eyes are a bit too small and beady. Let's take a look at, even a few issues later, what's going on. All right. I'm not going to go through all these comics. That's a funny looking nose with droopy eyes. On issue number 30, the next comic with Rufferto. 31 on the cover. His nose is still a little bit... And his body... I don't know. It's starting to get a bit of a taper here, right? So that's better. But look at on 32. Definitely a fuzzy fuzz around the eyeball. Maybe there's that taper in the neck. I don't know. Should we look in 33? Ah, the Pirates of Salgari. What's going on with Rufferto here? Well, I guess it's looking like a bigger head and more of a peanut-shaped snout. I like that. Something's happening with the eyes. Make them look a little bit more friendly. Look at that peanut-shaped snout and head. Maybe it's the whole sned? It's the whole sned. It's the whole snout and head that is peanut-shaped. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Still looking a little bit weird. Still a big spot under the eye. But I suppose Rufferto is just looking weird in that picture. A little bit of fur. His hackles are raised. I like these kind of pictures with Rufferto and Groo being reunited. That's a good looking Rufferto. A nice bulbous snout. I don't know, he's looking happy. He doesn't have those fangs, so that's good. Where's a big Rufferto? Now Groo has those teeth. Yuck. On the cover of Epic 34, we've got a nice, big, round-bodied Rufferto. Very orange in color. Looks like Sergio is kind of tapering his body as it comes down to the neck a little bit more. Still a big eye spot. Still big black ears. His snout is nice and peanut-shaped, though. Let's look inside. I think it takes a while before we catch up with Groo and Rufferto. There's a Rufferto there. You know, he's just looking much more sympathetic. He quickly goes from this dog with an attitude of escape to this cute, sympathetic creature that we love. That looks weird, that bottom lip, but it looks like Rufferto. And you know what? Look at, he still has that shaggy spot, but I think he's really coming together now. A little bit of hair on his back, perhaps by the neck. But the taper is coming into the body. Maybe the bodies get shortened a bit. That peanut snout. It's looking good. Solve these oxyziddles. And Oxy might solve your transportation problems. Ooh, I could win a Nissan 300ZX. 2 pimples born on the same day. Twimples. A pimple that keeps returning. I don't know. The Groo fish. That's a good looking Rufferto. And you know what? Maybe I was incorrect about the edge of Rufferto's eye spot. Maybe he keeps it rough for quite a while. It looks like The size of the spots has grown a bit. I think Sergio learned very quickly to make his life a bit easier that way. Still, these big black backs of the ears. When I think of Rufferto, I don't think of that. There they are again there. But I guess that's something I've got wrong. There he is again. He's looking good. Oh no, there's those fangs. What's with those fangs? I would say that within 4 or 5 issues, I think Sergio really gets Rufferto down. He's consistent with how he's drawing him. He's kind of worked out a few of the, I don't want to say issues or bugs that he's had with him, but I think he's refined him very quickly into the character that I know and love. Now let's look way into the future and see what happens to Rufferto. I want to bring out image number 9 with Rufferto and Arfetto on the cover. Huh. Yeah, I never think about that, but look at that. Rufferto eventually gets this white belly. Now, I guess that's more of a Tom Luth kind of thing, but it certainly is a way that Rufferto has changed over the years. In the very beginning, he was just this nice orangey dog. He becomes much more of a light tanned colored dog with a white belly. Yeah, his color's really changed. Huh. I always think of Rufferto as the orange doggy, but I guess he's just this light tan dog now, isn't he? I think I was right with this eye spot, that it really does become, if not smaller, the edge loses that shagginess to him. And you can see how the back of Rufferto's body, like his bum area, is definitely big and round, but then it comes down towards the neck. So he's lost that initial barrel-shaped body. Let's pull this one back out. That bullet barrel-shaped body to more of a light bulb-shaped body. Can we call it that? He loses the pointy nose, becomes this peanut-shaped-ish nose, or maybe it's just the fact that the nose kind of comes up a little bit higher onto the top of his snout. Maybe that's what's going on here. Let's look inside. So here we have Rufferto down on the bottom here. Yeah, look at his coloring. Definitely a tan doggy, kind of getting gray on the back there with a white belly. That's certainly a big change from the original Rufferto. Arfetto. Let's go take a look at Rufferto and Arfetto together. Yeah, there's that light bulb shaped body. Are his eyes smaller? Or is it just this drawing? Oh, puppies. So cute. As I look at this picture of Rufferto, it seems that Sergio's line has gotten a little bit finer, and maybe he's using more of a, I don't know what to call it, like a wiggly touch. His drawing of Rufferto, at least here, doesn't have all these big rounding, swooping, curving lines. They got the wiggly lines. And I think that's something that Sergio's drawing style has tended towards more in recent, I'll even say even recent decades, as opposed to early Groo comics. Still pretty big bottom and a big body, but it does taper towards the neck. What is this? Well, this is Arfetto. This is not Rufferto. But man alive, I guess it's hard to draw the transition between Rufferto's head and his body when Sergio doesn't have the collar there to hide the transition, because that's just strange looking, at least from that angle. Wow. Okay, let's take a look at Groo and Rufferto from what? 2001? From 2000. Okay. So this was actually 95, image 9, and now we're at 2000. So what's that, 15, 17 years from the original Rufferto drawings. And my first thoughts are more of a scratchy line here, but the peanut-shaped nose isn't as peanut-shaped as I recall. Tom's coloring him, at least in the trade paperback here, a little more orangey. I think he'd gone to that real light tan for a while. And the way that Sergio is filling in the spot under Rufferto's eye here, down here, It's not solid anymore, so it has a bit of that rough edge again. Interesting. And the body shape here isn't as light bulb shaped as he was before. It is kind of returning a bit to that bullet barrel shape. Of course, down here there is a little bit more of a light bulb shape to it, I think. Let's flip to the middle of the series. Here's a great looking picture of Rufferto. His nose seems to have dropped a little bit again. Instead of being kind of towards the top of his snout, it's now in the middle. Maybe not at the bottom where it was originally, but it seems to have migrated a little bit more. He still overall has that very sympathetic look. Of course, Rufferto is trapped out of time here and experiencing some really rough stuff. So, maybe he's going to be looking a little bit more sympathetic. But the fewer spots are back. I'm thankful not to be seeing those fangs anymore. Let's flip to the end. Poof, there he is. We've got a reunion moment. And there he is. There's a nice big picture of Rufferto to end with. Interesting to see how Tom lightens up his snout towards the tip. Looks like his nose down at the bottom here is dropping a little low still here. Yeah. And the spot really is big. Maybe it's not as enormous as what I think of his original spot to be, but it's a good sized spot. Haven't seen any fur on the back of Rufferto's neck in quite a few years here, so I guess that's something that didn't stick around. Oh, it's those fangs. Don't draw Rufferto with individual teeth, please. And there he is. Light bulb shaped body. Cool. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed, as I did, taking a closer look at Rufferto through the years. Not a super academic approach, but more thinking about what I perceive my ideal Rufferto looking like and comparing that to how Sergio has drawn him throughout the decades. There's one thing that I've learned is I do not like Rufferto fangs. Little peg teeth. That's not for me. But I sure do love this doggo. I love the Groo comics, and I'm so happy that Sergio and Mark and Tom and Stan are still making Groo the Wanderer comics today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications turned on, because I will be back again soon with some more Rufferto on GrooTube. Take care, everybody. Look at that. It's like the little compact Rufferto. I love him. He's cute. And I kind of like it when Sergio draws Groo with just pupils. There's a name for that style. Is this like Chibi Groo? And a white belly.